Hey guys, it's Katie. Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you're here. Today's video is one of your guys' favorite to watch and one of my favorite to film. And you guys know the drill by now. We're going to be choosing my TBR for the month from prompts from my TBR jar. This time for the month of November, I actually added quite a few of new prompts. All of the new ones were actually commented by you guys on my previous videos. I have been logging them and writing them down on an ongoing list for a while now, and I figured it was time to at least fill it up a little bit. So there will be no repeats from my past TBR videos from this past year. These are all brand new prompts that I'm really excited to use in this video. And if you ever have ideas for a TBR prompt, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below because that's where I get all of them from. I've honestly been feeling quite a bit slumpy lately. I don't really know exactly what it is. I just haven't been in the biggest reading mood, so I don't really know what genres or anything I'm really gravitating towards. Maybe just like easier to read books. I might do like a few rereads this month or something too, just to kind of get myself back into reading. But overall, I think I'm just looking for things that are a little bit more fast-paced, a little bit more easy and fun, and not really crazy hard to follow. Maybe like a mystery or something, a YA mystery. I've been wanting to continue the Natural series for quite a long time, so maybe that'll get on the TBR. Or even just like a YA fantasy if I'm gonna do a fantasy. And I don't really have that many romances on here anymore. One book that is on my personal TBR, but I just haven't gotten to it yet, is Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter, the sequel to Better Than the Movies. I just know I have to get to that this month. I love her books. I fly through them, and I loved Better Than the Movies so much, so I'm really excited to read that. Now, as someone who reads quite a bit of books, I've been thinking about getting into writing for quite some time, and there is nowhere better to learn a new skill than Skillshare, so thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives, with thousands of classes led by experts that can help you take your career, your passions, and your hobbies to the next level. They have classes on so many things like how to grow your business, film, painting, as well as beginner tips on platforms like Notion and Canva, which are really great tools to use in a lot of different careers. I'm currently over halfway through of their creative writing bootcamp class. In the creative writing bootcamp class, they give you a prompt and you have 8 minutes to write about it. The prompt's really nice because I feel like they evoked a lot of emotion to me, so it's kind of easy to write about. And the way that they use what you wrote for the prompts to help you learn about other important tools with writing, like creating dialogue, setting, and even building different characters, was such an easy segue into learning. I didn't even really feel like I was learning. It just felt like I was a writer and I was writing and doing it, and I've just really enjoyed this class so far, and I feel like I've learned so much. Now, one thing I feel like you guys always ask me about is how to start a YouTube channel. And Skillshare actually has a feature called Learning Pass, and they have one on how to create a first YouTube channel that'll take you from all the basics you need as a beginner and will slowly help you as you advance in your creative career. And I personally am so excited to use Skillshare as an asset to discover and learn more throughout my creative career. And the first 500 people who click the link in my description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so join me and get started with Skillshare today. Thank you so much again to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Let's go ahead and get started with prompt number 1. I'm literally so excited to use all the new prompts. By an author you love. Okay, we definitely have quite a few options on here. I could definitely go with a novel love story by Miss Ashley Poston. I really adored her other 2 books, and I feel like this is gonna be perfect for the fall time. We also have The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. You guys know I absolutely adore Abby Jimenez. I also, just now realizing you can't see the bottom of my TBR cart. Maybe I'll move you down. There we go. That's a little bit better. I also have the First Crescent City book down here that I could pick as well. I don't think I'm going to pick that this month because I have tons of videos that I'm going to be reading for the month of October. So I think it's going to be between these 2 guys. I don't really know much about these 2 other than that they're both romances and they're both by some of my favorite authors. But I think since it is the fall time, I'm going to go with a novel love story by Ashley Poston. I've been wanting to read this for quite some time and have been avoiding everyone's videos where they have read it or had any type of opinions on it. I'm also excited to be able to watch those videos after I read this too. I know there's definitely some magical realism in here because that's kind of Ashley Poston's thing, and I honestly think somebody ends up going into a book or something like that, which sounds super interesting, and I feel like I would eat that up. So this is gonna be book 1. I'm so excited to finally get to it. Okay, I'm sorry guys. I literally have been messing with my tripod this entire video. I don't know what's going on with it. It just keeps sinking. So if you have a good tripod recommendation, please do leave it down below. Let's go ahead and pick prompt number 2. Book ending in an even number of pages. I honestly kind of like prompts like this because I can literally just pick up any book that I want to read and hope that it has an even number of pages, I guess. Off the top of my head, I feel like I'm just gonna fly through Killer Instincts by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've been wanting to go back into my mystery era, at least YA mystery era. don't get it twisted, I'm not reading an adult mystery. And I feel like this would kind of take me out of my book slump too. I feel like they're just so fast-paced and fun. So let's see if it has an even number of pages. Not counting the extra pages at the end for the next book or the acknowledgements. 375. Okay, that's a no-go. Curse of the Wolf King by Tessania Odette. I mean, it's a YA fantasy fairy tale. I feel like fairy tales are a little bit easier to digest than regular fantasy books sometimes. 394. Okay, so I could pick this one. I believe this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I always eat up a princess retelling if we're being real, so I feel like I'm really gonna enjoy this. So this is definitely an option. One book I've been wanting to read for a while, I read the first one, I think in like January or February, is Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillick. I ate up One Dark Window. I don't know why it's just taking me so long to get back to the series. So let's see if it has an even number of pages. Okay. 430, so I could pick this one. The first one just left off on such like a crazy cliffhanger. Like I have no idea where this is gonna go, and we're getting completely different perspectives too, so I'm like really excited to read this. Like this might possibly be a 5-star read. Like I ate up the first one. I think I'm just gonna pick Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillick. I am so excited to continue this duology. I've really been wanting to finish a lot of the series that I'm currently reading before I dive into tons of other series, just because it's kind of overwhelming whenever you're in the middle of a ton and you kind of forget where you're at sometimes because you like wait so long to read books. Like it's almost been a year since I picked up the first one. So I'm really excited to read this one and get it off of my series tracker list. Prompt number 3. Meant to read last year. Okay, this one's a little less fun. The two biggest ones that are kind of staring at me right now that I have literally been putting off for so incredibly long. Number 1 is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book in the Six of Crows duology. So I could choose this. I honestly feel like I might need to reread Six of Crows. I read it kind of like at the beginning of my fantasy journey, and I think that I was just a little too confused because there's a lot of different point of views and I'd never read a book like that before. But honestly, reading a series like Throne of Glass and like easing my way into the different POVs, I feel like it would be easier to read now, especially because I now know the characters and stuff. I think I rated the first one like a 3.5 honestly, but the ending was so good. So I'm really tempted to choose this one just because I feel like I would eat this up honestly just from the way the first one ended. And also I've read a lot more fantasy than whenever I read the first one, so I feel like I could handle it more. And again, like I was saying, I want to finish all of my other series before I dive into a ton more. The other book though that I was talking about was Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I don't know why. I've literally had this book for so long. I meant to read this in like 2022. I'm just like really intimidated by it because everybody loves it. So I'm like really nervous that I won't love it for some reason. I don't know. As people who read, you guys get it. Of course, it's just kind of like a lot whenever a book is like super hyped up for a super long time. But because I want to finish more series, I'm going to add Crooked Kingdom, which is honestly like more of a big deal than me adding Archer's Voice in my personal opinion. In the first one, they were kind of like going through a heist. Like they're kind of like the bad guys almost. So they're actually not as bad as you think. They're just kind of like criminals, and they're very good at being like sleuthy and sly. So they're kind of like doing something for the government. So they did that in the first one, and now we're just gonna see what happens with the aftermath of that. I'm actually kind of excited to read this, which is a good sign because I haven't been, so maybe it's the right time to pick it up. Prompt number 4. A cover that's my favorite color. My favorite color I feel like used to change quite a bit, but literally for years my favorite color has been green. My nails are green, my socks are green, my Stanley cup is green. I'm looking at so many things in my bedroom right now that are also green. I have so many green clothes. Things that don't have to be green end up being green. So I think we definitely need to go with a green book. And we have quite a few options on here. We have, if I can get it, The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is a YA mystery series that I've been wanting to get into for a while. I actually just recently bought this, which is kind of funny because I feel like this has been around for so long. Sorcery of Thorns is also green. This is by Margaret Rogerson. This is a YA fantasy series, or maybe it's not a series. I think it's just a standalone actually. And Stephanie Garber has a blurb on it, so that's always a good sign because I love Stephanie Garber's. I was about to say authoring. I love Stephanie Garber's work. I guess, yep, Firefly Lane is pretty green as well, although it's almost like a greeny blue. I don't know, I feel like I'd count that. I feel like that's pretty green. This is a literary fiction. It's about kind of like friendship and stuff. I've been wanting to wait to read this until it's like the summertime though. I feel like it just gives like summer spring vibes, so I think I'm gonna set that right there. Or actually maybe I won't, I don't know. I really want to read a Kristen Hanna book. Okay, I don't think it needs to be in the summer. I'm just gonna put this as an option and we'll go from there because we still have some more that I could pick. Definitely The Final Offer by Miss Lauren Asher. You guys know how much I've been putting this one off, so yep. Is Next of Kin green? I'd say that's more blue. I think that's more blue, so maybe these are our only options. Yeah, These are all pretty green. I'll be honest, I think it's gonna be in between the Inheritance Games and Sorcery of Thorns. I normally pick 6 books. I have 3 down right now. I have a romance and 2 fantasies, so I think I'm gonna go with the Inheritance Games. Even though I do really want to read this, I kind of want to see what the hype is all about with this one, just because so many people talk about this series and it's so well loved. I also think it's gonna be really good to get me out of my slump because it's really fast paced and the chapters are like incredibly short, so I feel like this is gonna be a really good pick. And again, I'm just really excited to know what all the hype is about. Okay, sorry if the angle's a little bit different. I had to switch my camera battery. I'm only gonna pick 6 books like I normally do, and I've already picked 4, so let's go ahead and pick my 5th prompt. Book you've owned the longest. Okay, I think I know exactly which one that is, to be completely honest. It's definitely Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I feel like I was literally just talking about how this book scares me. I'm kind of intimidated to read it, blah, 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 blah. And yet here it is on the TBR. I will say this is on my 2024 TBR, so I definitely should be reading this incredibly soon since I literally only have 2 months to finish and I think I have like 10-ish books left on my list or something crazy. So it's not bad that this is on the TBR. It's gonna get read by the end of the year anyway. I believe this is just a small town romance. Maybe it'll be a little cozy and fun. Tons of people love this. I don't know why I wouldn't love it. I don't know what my problem with this book is. Plus I only have 1 other romance on my TBR. Everything else is fantasy or mystery, so I feel like it might be good to have another romance on there. Let's go ahead and pick our 6th and final prompt. Book based somewhere you've never been. Okay, to be honest, this could be kind of easy because this could mean like a state or a country I've never been, or even like a fantasy book if I really wanted to, because I've never been to like a mystical land, sadly enough. I do kind of want to read Sorcery of Thorns. Ostermeers. Don't even know where to begin to tell you where that is, so that's an option. I'm pretty sure this takes place in like Chicago. Or no, it takes place in Lake Wisteria. I don't know where that is. So I'm gonna take that as a sign that I've never been there, so this is an option. I mean, I could do Crescent City in Lunathon, I think is where they live. Never been there. Sure, all these fantasy books have somewhere I've never been before. What about Next of Kin? It doesn't really say. I don't want to like give myself any spoilers either. I'm probably just gonna look it up. Okay, it looks like it's near Niagara Falls. I could be wrong, but that's what a lot of these things that I'm finding online are saying, so I think that I could definitely pick this one because I've never really been to Niagara Falls. Okay, if we're being honest, I'm looking at all 3 of these books, and one of them is on my 2024 TBR. So I really should pick one of them, and it's been on a billion TBRs, and you guys have literally been wanting me to read it for so long. So I feel like I just need to pick The Final Offer by Lauren Asher. I have been putting it off for literally like year? Well, yeah, about a year now. And I don't even really know why. I think it's just the sheer size of it. And I think I just need to do it. I need to do it so I'm not too overwhelmed at the end of the year whenever I'm trying to work on my 2024 TBR. And it's literally a small town second chance romance. So why would I eat this up? Like, why am I so scared of it? I guess the month of November is the month of facing my fears whenever it comes to books. So love that for me. Let's go ahead and do a quick recap of all the books on my November TBR. The first prompt that I got was by an author that I love, and I chose A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. The second prompt was a book ending in an even number of pages, and I chose Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. Next prompt was meant to read last year, and I chose Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. Next I chose a cover that's my favorite color, and I chose The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. My fifth prompt was a book that I've owned the longest, and I chose, well, I guess I had chosen for me, Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. And then finally, our last prompt was a book based somewhere I've never been before, and I chose The Final Author? I always say that whenever it comes to this book. The Final Offer by Lauren Asher. If this does not get read this month, literally yell at me through the screen. So here is our November TBR. I feel like we have a little bit of a mix of books that I'm pretty excited about versus books that I'm maybe dreading a little bit, but it's fine. Hopefully they all get read. We'll have to see. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe. If you watched until this far in the video, go ahead and comment down below the jar emoji so I know who the real ones are who watched till the very end. And if you want to keep up with me on the daily, go ahead and follow my Instagram, my TikTok, and my Goodreads. Goodreads especially if you want to keep up with what I'm reading in real time. My socials are always linked down below. And yeah, I feel like that's it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!